I knew something was wrong the moment Sarah's best friend, Aisha, showed up at my office looking like she hadn't slept in days. She didn't even sit, she just whispered, "You deserve to know what she's been doing." That's when the floor under my life cracked open. I stared at her, confused. "What are you talking about?" Aisha shook her head, eyes filling with guilt. "I can't watch her do this to you anymore." And just like that, she told me everything. It's strange how betrayal feels physical, like a punch to the throat. As Aisha talked, I felt myself drifting somewhere outside my own body. My heartbeat drowned her words, but the pieces were clear enough. Sarah wasn't working late. She wasn't helping her cousin with wedding planning. She wasn't too tired for intimacy or conversation. She'd been spending her nights with someone she met at the gym. Someone whose name I'd heard a dozen times in passing. Just a trainer, she had said. "He motivates me." I guess he motivated her a little too much. Aisha's voice trembled. "She told me not to say anything, but I can't keep covering for her. You don't deserve it. You're a good man." Funny thing is, I didn't feel like a good man. I felt like a blind fool. I thanked her quietly. I think I hugged her. I don't remember. All I know is that I drove home with my hands shaking on the steering wheel, rehearsing what I would say, imagining her reactions, imagining myself screaming. But when I finally walked into our apartment, I found myself eerily calm. Almost empty. Sarah was in the kitchen scrolling through her phone, smiling to herself. She didn't even notice me walk in until I set my keys down harder than necessary. "Oh hey," she said casually. "You're home early." "Yeah," I said. Something came up. She barely glanced at me. "Dinner will be late. I still need to marinate the chicken." There was a moment, a single second, where I thought about confronting her right there, demanding answers, exploding all the pain inside me onto the tiled floor. But instead I looked at her and felt nothing, or maybe too much to feel anything. That's when the idea came to me. Not out of anger, but out of clarity. Revenge doesn't always come from rage. Sometimes it comes from silence. For the next 2 days I acted normal, gentle, attentive, even affectionate. She didn't suspect a thing. Cheaters rarely do. They think they're the smart ones, the careful ones, the ones holding all the strings. Meanwhile, I was planning. I went to our bank and opened a private account. Redirected my salary, found a new apartment, packed my essentials while she was at the gym. I even hired movers, quiet ones who came during hours she was always gone. By the third night, our home was a shell of what it used to be, but she didn't notice. Not even when I stopped initiating conversations. Not even when I stopped touching her. Not even when I looked at her like she was already a stranger. On the 4th day, I texted Aisha. "Tomorrow. Be there." She replied instantly, "I will." I don't know if she felt guilty or relieved. Maybe both. Sarah came home that evening humming a song. She tossed her gym bag aside and grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge. "Why are you dressed so nicely?" she asked, noticing my button-down shirt. "I invited someone over," I said simply. "Oh? Who?" I didn't answer. Right then the doorbell rang. Sarah looked confused. I think some part of her knew the universe was about to collapse on her, but she didn't know how or why. I opened the door and Aisha stepped inside. Eyes red, face tense. Sarah's smile froze. Aisha, what are you doing here?" Aisha didn't speak. She just moved to stand beside me. That was enough. Sarah looked between us, confused, then panicked. "What's going on?" I took a deep breath. My voice was steady, eerily calm, like the quiet after a storm. "I know everything, Sarah." Her lips parted. What do you mean?" Your trainer. The lies." I looked her straight in the eyes. "Aisha told me." Sarah spun toward her friend, betrayal flashing across her face. "You told him? Are you insane?" Aisha started crying. "You were destroying him, Sarah. And you didn't even care." Sarah's voice cracked into a scream. "This was between me and him. How could you?" "No," I said firmly. "It was between all three of us the moment you asked her to cover for you." She turned back to me. Her confidence, her practiced excuses, crumbled instantly when she saw the look on my face. The look of someone who was already gone. "Hassan, listen. I'm sorry, okay? I messed up, but we can fix this." "You don't understand," I said quietly. "I'm not here to fight. She blinked, thrown off. Then what are you here for? I motioned toward the living room. See for yourself. She walked in and stopped cold. Her eyes widened as she took in the half-empty room. The shelves cleared out. My clothes gone. My documents removed. My laptop, my camera, my watch, all missing. What is this? She whispered. My exit, I replied. She spun back toward me, desperate now. You're leaving me? I already left. No, Hassan, please listen. This was a mistake, I swear. It didn't mean anything. I felt a small sting in my chest, but I kept my voice steady. Maybe it didn't mean anything to you, but it meant everything to me. She tried to grab my arm. I stepped back. No more lies, I said. No more explanations. I'm done bleeding for someone who didn't even notice I was dying. Her knees buckled and she sank onto the couch. Please, please don't do this. I'll change. I'll fix everything. I'll block him. I'll stop going to the gym. Aisha knelt beside her, crying too. I told you this would happen. You didn't listen. Sarah shoved her hand away. You betrayed me. I shook my head. No, Sarah. You betrayed yourself. And us. Aisha just told the truth. She sobbed into her hands and for a brief moment, I felt my chest tighten, but not enough to stop me. I walked to the door, paused, and said the last words I will ever say to her. I hope one day you understand what you lost. Then I left. I didn't slam the door. I didn't yell. I didn't cry until I reached my car. The truth is, leaving wasn't revenge. The revenge was letting her watch me walk away without begging, without anger, without giving her the satisfaction of a dramatic scene. She expected chaos. I gave her silence. Aisha texted me later. You did the right thing. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But for the first time in months, I slept without wondering who she was lying to me or herself. And that alone felt like justice.